Hello and welcome everybody. We previously developed the community tab of this application, the sidebar, and we are going to complete the Explorer tab and favorite section. If you haven't watched the previous episodes of this series yet, you can go to the top link and watch those videos first and then come back to this video and proceed with this tutorial. For the guys that haven't subscribed to my channel yet, I should say that every week I'm making videos in this regard, and if you're interested to learn more about React, React.js, JavaScript and these libraries, don't forget to press the subscribe button below and put a thumbs up underneath this video. It's gonna help me a lot for my YouTube channel to be seen by more people. Thank you guys for doing this. Let's start. Okay, let's me first close all these tabs, and we have Explorer tab, which is an empty component here. Let's first start to complete the render function, and then we will go for the other sections. Okay, as we did before, I need a container again, and I want to set a style to it, styles main container, which is not exist yet. We will write it after it. And within it, I just need a flat list to render each picture in this component. So it will be same as the community tab in the previous episode. So I'm gonna use data props and pass these state images. And what else to have? Render item. And it's gonna be a function, so let's name it render row, and then we will go for it, number of columns. If we don't specify this prop, automatically FlatList will add one item per row in the FlatList. But if I specify, for example, 2 or 3, it will add 3 columns, and it will be like a grid. So because I need a grid, I'm gonna set 3 as number of columns. Again, key extractor and another function, and using ID for our key, and on and reach threshold is gonna be, I guess, 0.5 will be good for it. On end reached, because I need an auto load feature, I'm going to use another function to load more data based on user scroll. So if it was not loading, should request for data from the server. So I'm gonna use load data, and within it I'm gonna pass state page, the current page, +1, because I need to get the data from next page. What else do I need? On refresh, yes, and this on refresh, yes. Actually, I'm using this prop for I don't know, you have seen it before or not, because for example, when we pull down, it will show an image that you can somehow refresh the data and get them from the first page again. So if I specify this prop, I will enable it and I will tell to FlatList that I want to have this feature, and it will enable it for us. Nothing else. Let's go to write every element that we have used inside our FlatList. Lots of errors. Okay, that's natural. First of all, I need images. It's gonna be an empty array at first, and I need loading, and it's gonna be true. What else is refreshing, and it's gonna be false, and page 1. Okay, let's go for component did mount. As you know, component did mount will be called after that all the elements of this component loaded, and it's the better place to call APIs and get the data from the server. So I'm gonna call a load data, and I should specify which page I need, and I'm gonna load the first page. I need another function here, component did update, and I need props, and do I need perf set? No, I don't need it here, so don't need to write it. If props query was not equal with props query, it means that the query has been changed. So we are going to load the data again. Actually, the query will come from the search bar, and when user type something into that, we automatically update this component, and we check that what is the previous what is the previous query and what is the new one. And if they are different, it means that user typed something, so we need to invalidate our data and get new data from the server. So let's write our load data. Okay, load data, it's gonna be an async function. We need a page here. First of all, I'm gonna set the state. And set is loading true. Nothing else. And let's get the query from the server. Const query, read it from props query, and these props set explorer loader true. We actually need to show a loading in the parent component, which is the home component. So I will pass a function named set explorer loader, and with this callback I just fire it with true value to show the loading to me. I will write it inside home component later. And what else do we need? Let's do the request response, await using fetch, and API Unsplash come search photos lion ID. It's gonna be access variable, and the page should be page variable, and what else? Yeah, query. I'm gonna check if the query, oh, I forgot to add dollar here. If we had query, just pass it. Otherwise, for example, pass wallpaper, and I guess nothing is remained for it. Get the data from our response. Await response JSON. Yes. And let's parse it. New images. It's equal to data results. I'm gonna run a map of this array, just removing unnecessary data from our array because it's gonna be so heavy if we want to keep all those items inside our array. So I just need ID and URL, URLs. I just want to have a small version of the image, and description description and is favorite false. Actually it is because when we click on each image, we then change its favorite to true based on user is clicked or not on the image. And what else do we need? We need to set the state. I'm gonna use the previous states. If you write your set state like this, in this way, you can have access to the previous version of the state. And it's a safer way to use, for example, these .state, for example, images. In this way, React doesn't guarantee that it is the old or previous version, but if we write it in this way, it's the best way for it. And images is gonna be, if the page is first page, I'm going to just show new images because we don't have anything else. And otherwise, first show the previous images that we have recently loaded from the server, and then add the new images to the end of the array and set the page set is loading to false to remove the loader, and is refreshing should be false again. We also need to call again our parent function set explore loader to false to actually hide the loader from the home component. Yes. Let's write this function inside our parent class. It's gonna be my home page, root file, and yes, we have x is explore loading. The initial value is false. Just add this function here, flag, or let's name it value is better. And I just want to set the state to, yeah, let's make it easier and just put it here. So when we call that function, this will be called, and the state will be based on the value that we passed from the child component. And I just need to make some changes here inside my Explorer tab. I just want to show the loader animation within this tab bar, tab heading section. So here I have text, component, and near it, I want to first check if state is Explorer loading was true, then show me the activity indicator and size is gonna be small. Yes, let me check. Yeah, it has imported from React Native and it's correct. Okay, let's go again for our Explorer tab. Oh, I think I've forgotten to add this function as a prop. I just need to pass this function as a prop to the Explorer tab on, what was the name? Set Explorer loader. And this dot set Explorer loader, we also need to pass the query. Query is this state query. Yes, do we have query here? Yeah, we have written it previously. Inside the Explorer tab, I just need to write two more functions, one for onRefresh. onRefresh. Do we send anything? No. And within it, I just want to set the state. First, set the image. Images should be empty, and is refreshing should be true, and it will indicate that actually when I specify that is refreshing is true, it means that the flat list should show the loader animation on top of it. And what else do I need? Just renderer function, and we will get the item using this way and just return our component image item, and the item is gonna be item. I just need to write this component. I could write it here, but to have a cleaner code, I decided to write it inside another component, and which is here image.js file. Okay, it's gonna be a simple React component. I'm gonna name it image item, and it has an state is favorite, and within this render function, first of all I want to get the item from props, and then just I want to return a touchable opacity. You can also use touchable without feedback, and the difference between these two items is that when you use touchable without feedback, it doesn't show any feedback to the user once user clicks on it. For example, it doesn't show any animation when user clicks on it, and user cannot find that is it clicked or not. But because we currently have some indicator on the image, it doesn't need actually to use some animations. Okay, in the onPress, I'm gonna have an arrow function, and within it I'm gonna set props add to favorites item. We will go for this favorite section later. And set the state. Is favorite is gonna be toggled, but it's better to get the previous state from here. And state is favorite. Yes. And what else do we need? We just need to show our image within this touchable opacity component. We are using a view item and set the style. Just I want to use inline style. Flex is going to be 1. Flex direction going to be column, and I want to set a small margin 1. It's very wide. Okay, and what else do we need? Within it, I need to have a thumbnail from NativeBase, and style should be styles image thumbnail, and the source prop is going to be URI equals to item.url. It's the path of the image. Let's close our thumbnail, and I need another view style styles. Why styles? Because we haven't written it yet. My VS Code cannot actually work well with this situation. Image overlay. I will explain to you what I'm doing here. Let me first write it, and I'm going to check if the state is favorite was true, then render me an icon and name is heart, and style is equal to font size 50 and color is red. Just it. And within this video I just need to show the description of the item, description, and show it within a text component, set number of lines to 1, just show the first line, and let's define our styles, yeah, image overlay text. And within it, what's the problem here? Yeah, it's not necessary. And within it, I just want to show the item description. I think we almost finished everything. Just let me check what is going on here. Oh, I forgot to close this bracket. Not beautiful. Yeah, now it's way better. Okay, my VSL configuration doesn't let me to do that. Okay, what we actually did it here, we returned an object which is clickable by the user, and when user click on it, we change the state of this object to be its favorite, and what we show within this object, we first have a thumbnail, which is the image that we recently downloaded from the server. And what else do we have here? It's an overlay on top of our image that shows an icon of heart for liking the image, and just the image description. You will see how it looks like. Just let me to write the CSS part here and finish. Const styles, style sheet create, and image thumbnail is going to be justify content. It's going to be center and align items is going to be center. Width is going to be 100% because it should be full width, and let's set the height to 200 pixels, and border radius is going to be 0 for it. We also need image overlay class, which has position absolute and width is 100%. What I'm doing. Height is going to be again 100%. Justify content is going to be flex end, because I want to stick to the end of the element, and align items center, and just set a background color to RGBA 0, 0, 0 and 0.1. It's just a gray overlay on top of our image. And finally, let's go for image overlay text. Image overlay text. Thanks, VS Code. Color, oh, what I'm typing. White. Text line center. Padding equal to 4, width should be 100%. Text shadow color RGBA 0 and 0.75. Set the text shadow offset to width is going to be 1 and height is going to be 1. Text shadow radius. This part is boring, sorry guys, I have to write all of this. CSS commands, border radius, 10 pixels, and finally background color RGBA again 00 0.75, and we finished finally. Okay, let me check, do we need anything else? Hopefully not. We exported our image and it should be image item from our component. Spelling problem. Yes. Let me check what is going on. Oh, we forgot to import style sheet from React Native API. Cannot find variable view, it's inside on page. Line 79. I guess it should be inside Explorer tab. View. Again, have we used here style sheets? No, inside this one. No, I haven't used it here. So home page 79 is Explorer tab, style sheet, yeah, styles, const styles, call to style sheet, create main container equals to just setting the justify content to center and set the flex to 1 and import it. Again we have problem. FlatList line 676 should be refreshing on refresh. Yeah, I forgot to add refreshing, and we should use the state that we wrote. This the state is refresh. Again error. It seems that we have a problem with our images because the data is loaded completely, and when you scroll down it will get the new data, and even if I pull to refresh, yeah, you can see that it works. But I think we have an style issue. Let me check what the problem is. I think the problem is with our imports. We imported some components in a wrong way. Actually we imported view from React Native. Let's do it using NativeBase, because there is a slight difference between the NativeBase view and React Native view. Maybe that causes our problem. From NativeBase, and we also remember we had an icon and it also should be imported. Yeah, why I don't get any error because of it. If we have NativeBase here, let's put all them together. It still doesn't work well. I think the other problem is with our touchable opacity. We need to specify the style and set it to actually use the entire width of its component. For doing that, I just need to set flex to 1, and it's like width equals to 100%. It means that it should start from here and end until the parent area that is reserved for this component. Okay, now it works well and beautiful. Great, you can see the description of the image, and since we set the number of rows here inside our image, let me show you. Yeah, number of lines, we set it to 1, so it just show me the first line, and because if I don't do this, it will be bad. Let me show you. Yeah, you can see that for these images it's not good looking. Okay, and if I go down, it should, yeah, it will load new data. You can see the loader start working, and yeah, we also added untouch function to it, but since we haven't written add to favorites yet, it will show me an error, but no problem. Okay guys, thank you for watching. See you in the next video.